Chapter 3, in which Todd and Audrey Pratchett meet a cat-girl princess. It was after school when it began. After picking up Audrey from school, the children went home and prepared themselves for a tea party in their playhouse. Inside, they set the table with plates, teacups, and food made of wood. Seated at the table are the stuffed animals. "The tea party is almost ready," Todd said. "I'll go back to fetch the kettle from the kitchen. Will you pick the flowers for the vase?" "I will," said Audrey. "And do you think the wind is going to ring the bells today?" "If it blows," he said. "But stay away from the roses. Any flower but those are good enough." When he was heading to the back door, Audrey heads to the flower bushes to pick all kinds of flowers for the vase. She smiles when the bells tied to the branches begin to sway and give out their ringing. She can feel the wind rising against her long blonde hair. But her happiness lasted only a short time when he heard rustling from the bushes. She was greatly frightened when she hears a cat crying out from the bushes like it's in pain. "Hello?" she asked. Sensing that something is wrong, because of her enthusiasm of cats, she immediately forgot about picking flowers and decides to go help the poor creature. She peers inside the bushes. "Are you in there?" she asked. "Don't be frightened. Are you hurt? I'll take care of you. I always care about cats." She then stepped back as a girl rose slowly from the bushes. Her heart stood still. Oh, what a peculiar girl Audrey had met. What makes this girl peculiar to Audrey, aside from the royal clothes she wore, are the large triangular white ears on the top of her head and a long tail from behind that almost seemed to move on its own. And her eyes. Her eyes were pink with black slit pupils and most marvelously bright. They seemed to be sparkling and twinkling at you all the time. The whole face, completely cat-like with whiskers and a small pink nose, in fact, was alight with fun and laughter. How charming and full of life. Cooed the sound of the cat girl. Not knowing what to do, Audrey waved to the creature and said, "Hello. Tell me, who are you? Are you a cat? Are you lost?" The cat girl asked. "You don't understand me at all, do you?" Audrey asked. The cat girl cooed again and took a step forward. Audrey stepped back. Unfortunately, she tripped and landed on her bottom. Then the pink-haired cat girl disappeared into the bushes. "Hey!" Audrey shouted as she got up to her feet. "Come back!" Todd came back with a kettle of cold water from the kitchen. "Why are you just standing around?" he asked when he found her. "Shouldn't you be picking flowers for our vase? Did you find anything?" "I saw a stray cat in the bushes," she said. "A cat? Is it a stray?" "I think it does. It looks like a girl with pink hair." "A what?" He placed the kettle down and went into the bushes, only to find nothing. "Wherever it was, it's gone." "She can't be gone," she said. "I tried to talk to her, but all she did was meow." "You must have imagined it, but you're not alone." He picked up the kettle again. "You have me, and why waste our imagination? Let's begin our tea party." As soon as they head inside the playhouse, they immediately froze. Oh, how right Audrey has ever been. The pink-haired cat girl was sitting at the front of their table, looking at the stuffed animals around her. She smiled at the two children who were clustered near the doorway. "Now what kind of girl are you?" Todd asked. "Are you going to hide from us again?" Audrey asked. "Is that a yes or a no?" Todd asked. "We can't understand you. Do you talk like this? Hear me talking? Are you mute?" Do you have a name then? There, the cat girl hesitated. Todd and Audrey looked at each other, and then at the cat girl, who was licking her gloved hand. Well, we'll just introduce ourselves first. How's that? Todd said. My name is Todd Pratchett, and this is my sister Audrey. Audrey said, and we were thinking that you should join us in our tea party since you came here. Huh? Yes, you, Todd said. He picked up a stuffed lion puppet for her to see. This is a lion. He sticks his hand in the puppet. He's a cat like you, but he's a king of the jungle, see? Roar! Roar! He moves the puppet's mouth with his hand while shaking. Her tail puffing up, the cat girl swiped the puppet off his hand. You don't like Sir Lolly? He asked. She turned her head. You think lions are scary, do you? He asked. Well, that is true. He throws the puppet out the door and closes it. There, see? Bye-bye, lion. I think Lolly needs to go to the jungle. After all, it's almost summer vacation. The cat girl's expression softens as Audrey presents a stuffed bunny with a bow tied to his neck. That's Mrs. Cottontail, Audrey said. She's cute like you. You can hold her, can you? The cat girl felt the fur of Mrs. Cottontail. You can have her if you like, Audrey giggled. The cat girl cuddled the stuffed animal, her face feeling the rabbit's fur as she lets out low purrs. Todd pours a drink and gives it to the cat girl. She looked down curiously. It's supposed to be tea, but it's actually water, he said. We're just pretending it's tea. The cat girl picked up her teacup and sipped it. Since you're new to the city, it would be nice if you stay with us, he went on. Huh? The cat girl questioned. Yes. Do you want to? The cat girl rose up and spoke, her eyes sparkling. Machidon! The children stepped back and gasped. So you can talk, Todd said. Tell me, do you have a name? Where do you come from? From behind, the cat girl pulled out her scepter. I didn't know you could do magic. Do you do magic in where you're from? The star inside the scepter begins to glow. Audrey leaned closer to look at it. Her brother followed. In nearly an instant, they were succumbed, entranced by the light from the star in the scepter. It was gentler than the moonlight and imperious than the light of the sun. They were unable to speak, unable to think rationally, unable to move. In their vision, all they see is a black void, shrouded in stars. Beyond the void is a voice, calm, soft, and soothing, and in a whisper.
ちょうどあなた自身を緩め、あなたができるようにあなた自身を快適にさせる。
The voice of the cat girl seemed to be saying to them, but Todd and Audrey can't understand her.
ちょうど穏やかに呼吸し、私の声に集中するようにトランスで自分を失う続ける。
Todd and Audrey can feel themselves lost as they not hear a pure sound, one that rung out crisply and reverberated pleasantly. They could feel the bass undertone rattle deep inside them, giving off a warm feeling. An electric blue light had flashed before their eyes, a mere spark or a compound that, when combined with another, would begin to manifest. A blazing red spark elicited rose to accommodate the blue. Together they danced momentarily before combining together as a crackling blue and red orb. There the power explodes out of it and forms the face of this cat girl. The blissful omnipresence with the severity of purity and a diadem of goodness. Clumps of flame spew out of her hair. Todd and Audrey try to reach for her, only for it to be in vain. Then the cat girl calls out, her voice in a lingering echo.
私はあなたの生活の中で私を受け入れるための両方に感謝したいと思います。 もしあなたが私を知りたければ、私はこの地球ではないことを知っています。私は主に人間に似ているにもかかわらず、私はそれらの一つのようなものではない。私は一つの目的のためにこの世界にここに来た。私はあなたの両方を見つけるために、自宅で右を感じるように誰かを見つけるために。そしてこの気持ちは決して消えることはありません。
She smiled. The spewing flames changed into sakura petals, and her face brightened gradually.
あなたは私が考えているものを撮影することができますか？私は今からあなたの両方のために行うことができます。すべての最も素晴らしいものを想像してください。何が起こっても、王国の名前で、私はあなたのそばに滞在します。私は今、ローミングしようとしても、それだけで私は家からのような長い道のりを見せに行く。友達が必要なら、私に向けるものです。あなたのうちのどれかが時折悪い日を過ごしている場合、私は安心してあなたのストレスの心を置くものとする。あなたは私が滞在し、みんなに愛されるようにしたい場合は、ここで私は午前。私の名前はカワイワンダーランドのプリンセスキティ。
She reaches out towards the children, going slightly through them while doing so, before disappearing in a flash of light. Todd and Audrey immediately found themselves in their room upstairs. They decide to lie still, hardly breathing, wondering who and where their new friend is. Mr. Pratchett came into the room, and he looks worried. "Hey, Todd," he said. "You okay?" "What happened?" Todd asked. "You and your sister have passed out in the playhouse for hours before I call you both for dinner many times, so me and your mother sent you both to your room while you're out." Suddenly, Todd noticed something and asked, "Have you seen her?" "See who?" Mr. Pratchett said. "The cat girl with pink hair. She came here and puts us in a trance." Mr. Pratchett shook his head. "No, I didn't see her when I came to your playhouse, and I never even heard of her until you brought it up." Saddened, Todd turned away. "I don't understand. It feels so real." "You were just tired," Mr. Pratchett said. "Sometimes I don't understand at all." "You've got to believe me, Dad," Todd said. "I know what I saw." Mr. Pratchett leaned closer and said, "Todd, like everyone else, I believe in what is real. Eventually, you and your sister shall do the same. I know this is difficult for you and your sister to understand, but having an overactive imagination isn't just immoral. It's irresponsible and unacceptable. That wasn't me who said it just to make you hurt. I heard it from Mrs. Malchance." "The devil woman?" Todd asked. "Todd, you know better not to call her that. Speaking of her, I'll visit her tomorrow. Then on Friday, after school, Mrs. Malchance expects you two to behave like civilized children maturing into grown-ups while you're visiting, right?" Todd was deflated. "Okay. Pretty soon, when you grow up, even I think it's hard for you to throw away all your toys," Mr. Pratchett said, sadly. "And brush childhood off like it was nothing," Todd said. "That's something Todd and Audrey won't like. They knew that when they grow up, they would most likely get jobs or pay bills or anything grown-ups do. That means there won't be any time to play. There are a few positive moments, like marriage and having children of their own. However, when it comes to responsibilities and not having thoughts or imagination, maybe it's better if they die young than to grow up. Because being a child won't last forever. Mr. Pratchett rose up and said, I think we had a nice talk. You get well soon. Got school tomorrow. I'll send you dinner. As he left the room, Audrey asked Todd, Will we ever see her again? I don't know, sis, he said. I don't even know her name. What did she say? We've heard of a voice, though I don't understand what she's saying. I think I hear that word the voice keeps repeating in my head. Princess Kitty. I don't know what it means. Is that her name? Sounds like it. I think she's more like a Princess Kitty to me, Audrey said. Just then, there came a realization, and her face begins to light up, exclaiming, Princess Kitty! Is that what she meant to say? Todd asked. If so, what kind of name is Princess Kitty? She looks like a princess, like in the storybooks. But where? Where did she come from? I think we'll take her out of the city after school. But will she come back? As Todd lays back, he said, She just met us here. Surely she'll come back to us. We'll have a great time tomorrow. I'll make sure of that. In truth, Todd and Audrey had no idea what wonders await them when they first met the Catgirl Princess. As long as her destiny still stood, she's determined enough that she'll succeed.